Hello everyone, I'm MVL and welcome to my video game pickups for December 2018. As per usual, gameplay footage included for every game on this list. And first up we have Fire Shark for the Sega Mega Drive. I got this game from Faceless Monkey in Turok. This is a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. It's an arcade port and the sequel to Flying Shark. The graphics and gameplay of this shooter are outstanding. You can pick up power-ups and new weapons as you make your way through the stages, shooting down and dodging enemies that attack you as aircraft in the sky or tanks from the ground. You also have a limited amount of devastating bombs at your disposal. I got this game at a fantastic price and I'm a big fan of scrolling shooters, so I'm very excited to add this to my collection. That's Fire Shark on the Sega Mega Drive. And next up we have Sky Shark for the NES. This is another vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. It's a retitled port of the arcade game Flying Shark, and of course after getting my hands on Fire Shark, I went after a console version of the first game. This is an NTSC cartridge and it only works in 60Hz. I tried running it on my PAL NES but it crashed, although I can play this game on my Retro Freak and it works perfectly fine. This game feels a bit harder than the sequel, but that could be because it's running faster. Regardless, it's a great scrolling shooter. That's Sky Shark on the NES. Next up we have Arcade Classic 4 Defender and Joust for the Game Boy. This is the first of a bunch of Game Boy games I got from a charity shop for £3 each. And this is a collection of two great arcade hits on one cartridge. It features Defender, a horizontal scrolling space shooter where you take down alien spaceships and save humans from being abducted. Or for fun, you can also shoot the humans as they're being carried away by the aliens. And Joust, where riding an ostrich you lance or land on your buzzard-riding enemies to progress through the levels. That's Arcade Classics 4, Defender and Joust for the Game Boy. Next up we have James Bond 007 for the Game Boy. Another game I picked up for £3 at a charity shop. This is a top-down action-adventure game. It's a good idea to talk to every NPC in this game to make progress, as they may be able to help you get past a barrier like a broken bridge, or give you vital hints about how to defeat an enemy. You can also find a lot of hidden items around the game. The B and A buttons act as your block and attack, but you can also use them to equip items to these slots. And there's 11 levels of secret agent action to enjoy. That's James Bond 007 for the Game Boy. Next up we have Paperboy for the Game Boy Color. Another game I picked up for £3 at a charity shop, and this is a wonderful port of the arcade classic game, where your task is to deliver newspapers to the correct houses, riding your bicycle across a suburban street full of incredible hazards, from lawnmowers to speeding vehicles and people fighting in the middle of the street. You'll be marked down for missing a delivery or damaging a subscriber's house, like sending your parcel crashing through their window. And at the end of each level you can enjoy a fun-filled obstacle course. That's Paperboy for the Game Boy Color. Next up we have Return of the Ninja for the Game Boy Color. Another game I got for just £3 at a charity shop. This is a side-scrolling platformer and the spiritual sequel to Shadow of the Ninja on NES. You begin your quest as one of two playable ninjas dealing with a rival ninja clan. You can pick off your enemies by sneaking up to them before they detect you or directly slashing them and jumping over their heads. There's a variety of ninja tools available to you throughout the game that will aid you in tackling the environment, from iron claws that let you dig underground to ninja sandals that allow you to jump even higher. This game is really good and well worth the price. That's Return of the Ninja on the Game Boy Color. Next up we have Turok Rage Wars for the Game Boy Color. Yet another pickup from a charity shop for £3. This is a scrolling action game, and very different from the N64 game of the same name. You make your way through the game with a variety of weapons, taking out the dinosaurs, killer plants, and other hazards along the way. One of the interesting things about this game is that the gameplay changes throughout, from side-scrolling to top-down action, as you help Turok defend the Earth from a dinosaur invasion. That's Turok Rage Wars for the Game Boy Color. Next up we have Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion for the Game Boy Color. This is the last of the charity shop pickups I got for £3 each, and another great action game. Yet again, this differs greatly from its N64 counterpart. This game begins with you inside of a tank from a top-down perspective, shooting down everything that moves, and stationary turrets too. From there you can enter other areas which mix up the gameplay, like changing it to side-scrolling action. It's a very fun game of non-stop mayhem. That's Turok Shadows of Oblivion for the Game Boy Color. Next up we have Skies of Arcadia for the Sega Dreamcast. This is a role-playing game. You navigate the environments in third person, finding loot and running into random encounters, and the battles are turn-based, which is exactly how I like it. A young air pirate and his friends embark on a magical journey, a voyage of discovery across the vast skies of Arcadia in search of treasures untold. This game features 6 vast lands to explore, magnificent airships to fly and customize, and a host of weapons and magical skills to be discovered. The game describes itself as one of the most immersive gaming experiences ever created. That's Skies of Arcadia on the Sega Dreamcast. Next up we have Space Debris for the PlayStation 1. I picked this game up from Faceless Monkey in Turok, and I'll say it, hidden gem alert, I believe this game was only released in PAL territories. It's a third-person space shooter, and the gameplay reminds me very much of Star Fox. You fly around the screen firing your lasers and bombs, and face down interesting end bosses, and you can pick up shields and power-ups along the way, and the levels play out on rails very much like Star Fox. There are 10 massive levels of white-hot space war and planetary combat, plus 6 attack crafts and multiple game paths, and the chance to engage colossal alien motherships that literally fill your TV screen. Plus the cinematic story sequences placing you at the center of an epic space drama. That's Space Debris on the PlayStation 1. Next up we have Ratchet and Clank 2, locked and loaded for the PlayStation 2. Another charity shop find. I found this for just 99p. This game is also known overseas as Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. This is a third-person action platformer, and it's presented in widescreen on the PS2, which looks great. This game features mega weapons for maximum carnage. You can load up with bombs, guns, and gadgets for some rapid-fire interstellar annihilation. And you can also procure cool new weapons and armor upgrades by obliterating in-game enemies. And the game also features space combat, hoverbike racing, and arena battle modes as well. That's Ratchet and Clank 2, locked and loaded for the PlayStation 2. Next up we have Spy Fiction for the PlayStation 2. Another game I got from Faceless Monkey in Turok. This is a stealth game where you play as either one of 2 playable characters, each with their own unique abilities, as part of an elite covert operations unit called Phantom, battling against a terrorist group that threatens the safety of the free world. You have a variety of tactics available to you to get past your enemies. You can camouflage yourself and blend into your environment, becoming almost invisible when still. And you can even cling to the ceiling to pass guards unnoticed. You can also disguise yourself, and unless your identity is uncovered, you can bluff past opposition, and if all else fails, you can take the less subtle approach of shooting down or beating up your foes. Whatever path you take, the fate of the world rests with you. That's Spy Fiction for the PlayStation 2. Next up we have LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy for the PlayStation 2. This was a charity shop find for £2. This is an action-adventure game. It's a LEGO-themed game following the events of Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. The game plays in third person where you control a variety of characters, either solo or cooperatively. See what I did there? Each character has different abilities and attacks, which is cool, and you can pick up more characters along the way. And building blocks is a key part of the game, with you being able to assemble LEGO pieces into different things to progress, like making a bridge to get past a gap, or a computer to open a door. There's also a variety of vehicles to jump in, including laser defense turrets and AT-STs. That's LEGO Star Wars 2 for the PlayStation 2. Next up we have Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for the PlayStation 4. This is an action role-playing game, and this game is a PlayStation exclusive, and the Complete Edition includes a Frozen Wilds expansion on disc. Hunt deadly machines on a quest to discover your destiny in a critically acclaimed hit. This game looks amazing and the story is epic and compelling. You can freely roam the vast open world environment in stunning detail, hunting with ranged weapons, a spear, or stealth to gather loot and gain experience towards new bonuses and abilities. Including the expansion, there's a wealth of story and side quests to enjoy. The Independent describes this game as an essential for PlayStation owners, giving it 5 stars. The Telegraph also gave this game 5 stars, and GameSpot gave this game 9 out of 10, and IGN UK gave this game 9.3 out of 10. That's Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for the PlayStation 4. Next up we have SpiderMan on the PlayStation 4. This is an action-adventure game and another PlayStation exclusive. The gameplay through the cityscape and visual style actually reminds me a little of another Insomniac game, Sunset Overdrive, which is an Xbox exclusive funnily enough. And the combat makes me think a little of the Batman Arkham games with a little more complexity. You have a massive open world environment to fight crime in, you can web sling around the city and beat up bad guys with your spider sense reflexes, fight them with aerial combat or trap them in webbing. When a new villain threatens New York City, Peter Parker and Spider-Man's worlds collide. To save the city and those he loves, he must rise up and be greater than ever. That's Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4. Next up we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider Croft Edition on the PlayStation 4. This is an action-adventure game, and this is the Croft Edition, which includes the Season Pass, additional weapons and outfits, a steelbook case, and a digital soundtrack. The game promises to deliver the experience of Lara Croft's defining moment as she races to save the world from a Maya apocalypse. Lara will ultimately become who she is destined to be. The gameplay retains much of the previous installment's third-person tomb raiding and guns-blazing action, with some nifty new abilities on top, like the ability to use a rope to safely descend from a higher surface or climbing point to any area below that. I've been streaming this game series recently, so I'm excited to enter the jungle with this new game and discover the tombs and secrets it has to offer. That's Shadow of the Tomb Raider for the PlayStation 4. Next up we have The Evil Within on the PlayStation 4. I picked this game up at the gold mine in Nuki, and I'm very happy as I've been after this survival horror game for some time. This game was directed by the creator of Resident Evil. Here you play Sebastian, who is pulled into a world of nightmares and monsters. The game is in third person, where you battle enemies and boss monsters using guns and melee weapons. You can also use stealth to sneak past enemies and traps to proceed. The story is incredibly compelling, I just couldn't put it down, with each mystery getting me more engaged into finding out what exactly is going on. And the game looks fantastic, it's incredibly cinematic. My only complaint is that the cinema 21:9 aspect ratio is so wide that it letterboxes the screen. Other than that, I'm very enamored by this game and I can't wait to get back into the action. Games Radar describes this game as wonderfully vile and exciting. That's The Evil Within on the PlayStation 4. And finally we have Too Dark Steelbook Edition on the Xbox One. Another pickup from the gold mine in Nuki, and another survival horror game. This game was brought to us by the creator of Alone in the Dark. This is a Steelbook Edition which also includes an original soundtrack. The game plays from a top-down perspective. You can interact with the environment and gather items which you can equip and use in both hands. Resources like bullets and batteries for your precious torchlight are limited, so be very careful as danger lurks in the shadows. This game is described as dark, disturbing and dirty by IGN, and Dread Central says something wicked this way comes. Plagued by a string of child abductions, darkness hangs over the city of Gloomywood like a curse. Stop the psychopaths and save the kids, and step quietly into the madness. That's Too Dark for the Xbox One. And that's it. Those are all of my video game pickups for December 2018. If you like the video, please leave a like or a comment to let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. And if you'd like to, you can support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you for watching. I've been MVL, and I will catch you next time.